The Bollinger Bands study on Thinkorswim (TOS) is a volatility-based envelope that consists of 3 lines, a middle moving average, and 2 outer bands plotted at a specified number of standard deviations. Because the bands expand and contract based on the standard deviation of price, they are self-adjusting, becoming wide during volatile markets and narrow during quiet periods. Core parameters in TOS. When you add the Bollinger Band study to your chart, you can customize several key inputs. Average type. Unlike some platforms that only use a simple moving average, SMA, TOS allows you to toggle between simple, exponential, weighted, Wilders, or whole. Length. The default is 20, which looks at the last 20 bars to calculate the mean and deviation. NumDev up, NumDev DN. The default is 2.0. This determines how far from the middle line the bands are plotted. Displace allows you to shift the bands forward or backward on the timeline. Default is 0. Related TOS indicators. Thinkorswim also provides variations of the standard bands for more specific analysis. Bollinger bandwidth measures the distance between the upper and lower bands as a percentage. This is primarily used to identify squeezes, low volatility, and bulges, high volatility. Bollinger %B shows where the current price sits relative to the bands. A value of 1.0 means price is at the upper band. 0.0 means it is at the lower band. Bollinger Bands crossover, a built-in signal study that plots arrows or signals when price crosses outside or back inside the bands. Common ThinkScript logic. If you are building custom scans or columns, here are the standard reference points used in ThinkScript. Component, ThinkScript reference, upper band, Bollinger Bands, upper band, middle line, Bollinger Bands, midline, lower band, Bollinger Bands, lower band. Example scan code to find stocks crossing above the upper band on a daily chart. Strategic utility, the squeeze. When the bands tighten significantly, it often precedes a violent breakout. Traders often look for a head fake, a move in one direction that quickly reverses before the true trend begins. Overbought/oversold. While a touch of the upper band is often called overbought in a strong trend, the price can walk the bands, hugging the upper line for an extended period. W bottoms and M tops. Many TOS users look for a price touch outside the lower band, followed by a second low that stays inside the band, as a high probability reversal signal. While Bollinger Bands are excellent for measuring volatility and price extremes, they don't indicate the strength of a trend or whether a squeeze is about to break. To avoid walking the bands, where price stays overbought/oversold in a trending market, traders typically pair them with momentum or volume oscillators. Here are the top indicators that provide the most effective confluence with Bollinger Bands on Thinkorswim. 1. The TTM Squeeze, the gold standard. This is the most common pairing on the TOS platform. The TTM Squeeze uses Keltner channels and Bollinger Bands together. The logic. When the Bollinger Bands, volatility, contract inside the Keltner channels, average range, the squeeze is on, indicated by red dots. The signal. When the Bollinger Bands expand back outside the Keltner channels, the squeeze fires, and the histogram shows you the direction and strength of the momentum. 2. Relative Strength Index, RSI. RSI helps distinguish between a tag of the band and a true reversal. The strategy. Look for divergence. If price hits a new high at the upper Bollinger Band, but the RSI makes a lower high, it suggests the upward momentum is exhausting despite the price action. The setup. A price touch of the lower band combined with an RSI reading below 30 is a classic oversold mean reversion setup. 3. ADX, Average Directional Index. The ADX measures the strength of a trend regardless of direction. The logic. Bollinger Bands don't tell you if a trend is strong, they just show volatility. The signal. If price is walking the upper band and the ADX is rising above 25, it confirms a strong trend. If the ADX is low or falling, price is more likely to bounce off the bands and return to the midline. 4. Volume Weighted Average Price, VWAP. VWAP provides the fair value for the day and acts as a magnet for price. The strategy: if price is extended at the upper Bollinger Band but is very far from the VWAP, there is a higher statistical probability of a reversion to the mean. Confluence: using the slope of the VWAP alongside the bands can help you determine if you should be looking for band touches as trend continuation or as reversal points. 5. Stochastic Oscillator. While RSI is a momentum lead, stochastics are often used to time the specific entry once price reaches the bands. The setup: wait for price to hit the upper/lower Bollinger Band, then wait for the stochastic K and D lines to cross back toward the midline. This provides a more surgical entry trigger than the bands alone. Summary comparison. Indicator: best used for Thinkorswim focus, TTM Squeeze. Predicting breakouts, TTM_squeeze, .squeeze alert. RSI. Spotting divergence, RSI. ADX. Trend strength, ADX. VWAP, mean reversion target. VWAP, stochastics, entry timing. Stochastic full K. Combining the TTM Squeeze with Bollinger Bands is one of the most effective ways to trade volatility cycles. While the TTM Squeeze itself uses Bollinger Bands in its calculation, adding the actual bands to your chart provides the visual boundaries needed to manage the trade once the squeeze fires. Here is a high probability strategy for combining these two indicators on Thinkorswim. 1. The core setup. Identifying the compression. The TTM Squeeze measures the relationship between Bollinger Bands, volatility, and Keltner channels, average price range. The squeeze, red dots. This occurs when the Bollinger Bands trade inside the Keltner channels. This represents a period of extreme energy storage. The confluence. Look for the Bollinger Bands to become very narrow and flat. The tighter the bands are during the red dot period, the more explosive the move is likely to be. 2. The entry trigger, the fire signal. You are looking for the transition from compression to expansion. The signal, the TTM Squeeze dot, turns from red to green. This indicates that the Bollinger Bands have expanded outside the Keltner channels. Directional confirmation, asterisk long, squeeze turns green, and price closes above the upper Bollinger Band. The TTM histogram should be light blue, increasing bullish momentum. Short, squeeze turns green, and price closes below the lower Bollinger Band. The TTM histogram should be dark red, increasing bearish momentum. 3. Trade management, walking the bands. Once the squeeze fires, the Bollinger Bands act as your guardrails. The momentum phase. In a strong squeeze breakout, price will often walk the bands, hugging the outer line. As long as price stays between the upper band and the midline, 20 SMA, the trend is intact. Early exit, momentum shift. If you are long and the TTM histogram changes from light blue to dark blue, momentum is slowing. This is often a sign to take partial profits. Full exit, mean reversion. A close back inside the 20-period midline, the center of the Bollinger Bands, typically signals that the squeeze move has exhausted and price is returning to average. 4. Strategy summary table. Phase. TTM. Squeeze state. Bollinger Band action. Action. Setup. Red dots. Squeeze on. Bands inside Keltner channels. Wait/watch. Trigger. First green dot. Price breaks upper/lower band. Enter position. Hold. Histogram increasing. Price walking the band. Stay in trade. Exit. Histogram fades. Price crosses back over midline. Close position. 5. Custom Thinkorswim Squeeze Scan. To find these setups on TOS, you can use this simple scan code to find stocks that are currently in a deep squeeze, where the bands are exceptionally tight. The head fake warning. One risk with this combo is the head fake. Occasionally, price will poke outside the Bollinger Band, triggering the squeeze, only to immediately reverse. To filter these out, many traders wait for the second green dot or ensure the price has also cleared a recent swing high or swing low level before entering.